Well, I'm joined now by Dr. Deepti Gurdasani, an epidemiologist and senior lecturer at Queen Mary University. Welcome back to the programme. Dr. Gurdasani, you and others have been warning about the Delta variant being more transmissible. What do you think needs to change in terms of restrictions now?
So I think the focus on June 21st sort of detracts from the fact of where we are now, because we are in a crisis now, and SAGE modeling has shown that with a variant that's more transmissible and has some ability to escape vaccines, we could still exceed the level of hospitalizations compared to Jan if we don't act now. And those are just talking about stage 3 reopening from May 17th. What we need to do urgently is reintroduce mitigatory measures in schools. We hear even from Matt Hancock that a lot of the infections right now are happening in schools. We can see this in our data with secondary school-age children having the highest rate of infections. We need urgent attention to masks and ventilation. We also need a long-term strategy of how to tackle this. And that means fixing our test, trace, isolate system and reintroducing those controls at borders and having managed quarantine with all countries so that we don't end up in a situation where we import yet another variant that's potentially more transmissible, more severe and able to escape.
Yeah. You mentioned children there. The MHRA, the UK regulator, has said the vaccine is safe for 12 to 15-year-olds. What's your opinion on now rolling out a vaccination programme for children in the UK?
I think it's vitally important. It's very clear that children not only transmit substantially, but also that they also get affected by things like long COVID. So it's important we roll this out. And it looks like the government is planning to roll this out in autumn. Unfortunately, that's not going to be fast enough to deal with our current peak, which is due in July. So it's very important that alongside vaccination in children, which is really, really important, we also focus on mitigations in schools, because unless we do that, we're going to see case rates rising in children with all its impacts on children, educational disruption, and on their families and the communities.
Yeah. Is it morally right, though, that we should be vaccinating children who are still at relatively low risk in the UK when vulnerable people in less wealthy countries are struggling? I'm thinking of places like Nepal pleading for help. Only 2% of their population has been vaccinated.
So this is a false dichotomy that's been created, I think, on ideological grounds. The UK has 4 times the number of doses it needs to vaccinate its population. Out of those 400 million doses that it has, using about 8 million to vaccinate adolescents is not going to make a difference to vaccine sharing. If the UK is really serious about vaccine sharing, it should start doing it now. It should support vaccine patent waivers, which it hasn't done, and increase foreign aid funding rather than cutting it. So I don't see this as a dichotomy at all. Why can't we vaccinate our children, protect them, as well as donate vaccines? It's very important we do both of those things.
OK, Dr. Gurdasani, I have to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us.